You ready for another tutorial? Let's make the washy sponge. It's so easy. I'm not gonna lie. You need a fat quarter, you need some mesh, and you need some batting. Now I have some special batting that I got in my kit from the Quilted Cow. The link is in my bio, but it is so easy. Follow directions and cut out all your pieces. Next, you're going to quilt this piece to this piece. So you want to take your batting and you want to quilt it on the front. Now that sounds really hard, right? Super duper hard. It's not hard. All you're going to do is sew some lines on this piece, and at the end of it, it'll look like this. Then we're going to put it all together and we're going to make a super cute washy sponge that you can give as a gift or use in your own kitchen. So let's go. First, take one of the pieces of fabric and quilt it to the batting. All that means is we're going to lay that piece of fabric on top of the batting, and then we're going to feed it through our machine just like this. And we're just doing some diagonal lines. You can do whatever design you want to. I just did some diagonal lines. When you finish getting those lines done, then flip your sponge and go the other direction, so you basically have some crisscross lines across it. All I did was lay it and sewed all the way across, giving myself almost like a diamond shape across the back of this sponge. Once you're complete, it'll look a little like this. Now, it's time to do some layering. Lay the pretty side up on your quilted side, lay a piece of the mesh on top of it, and then lay a piece of plain fabric on top of the mesh. Everything's going pretty side to pretty side on the fabric. The mesh doesn't have a pretty side, it's just mesh. Then you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way around, leaving yourself a little pull-through hole. Once you're done, you're going to trim the corners. And that just means you're going to clip, clip, clip all the way around. And this reduces the bulk. So when I do pull it through, I can poke those corners out real easily. Next, you just pull it through that hole. Now, I'll tell you, depending on how big you leave your hole, this can be easy or difficult. Second, you need to always back stitch on either side of your pull-through hole, or you'll pull out those stitches and you'll have a much harder time putting it back together. Next, poke out all those corners. You can use your finger, you can use a chopstick, you can use a pokey thing or a stiletto, just however you can. You see that fabric opening? Now we're going to tuck in either side of the fabric, being very careful with the mesh. We're going to tuck in both sides. I recommend giving it a nice little press. Then we're going to sew a 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch seam all the way around. It will close up that hole and it will kind of give a finished look to your washy sponge. Not gonna lie, I think the washy sponge may be one of my favorite kits of all times. It was so easy, so much fun, very usable, and made a perfect birthday gift for my friend. Get yours at the Quilted Cow. See the link in my bio.